Hey guys, what's up? It's Carl965. I'm doing part 2 of my top 10 favorite wrestlers. Um, so yes, this is part 2 of my video. So if you're seeing this, please watch my first one before watching this. So number 5, picking up where I left off, going on with number 5 of my favorite tag team wrestlers, Edge and Christian. um, I think anybody who would anybody, if you made a top 10, top 5, 20 list of the best tag team wrestlers in history, Edge and Christian are going to be on that list, hands down. These guys are one of 3 tag teams. I'm pretty sure you guys know who the other 2 are, but these guys are one of 3 of the tag teams who really dominated, in the tag team division in the early 2000s. These guys have had great matches, with the Hardys and the Dudleys, and like I said, in so many other great matches that they've had. And the TLC matches are anonymous. When you think of TLC match, you think of Edge and Christian. You think of the Hardys and Dudleys too, but you also think of Edge and Christian as well, because like I said, they're one of the 3 tag teams that really revolutionized. And together they've won the tag team titles at least, I think maybe 12 times, 10 to 12 times they've won the tag team titles. So a very decorative tag team was Edge and Christian. Number 4 on my list, the Hardys. These guys I thought were really great. When the Hardys first came in, I thought they had something. They were very interesting and very just very different. They had like an emo rock type of look to them, and they were named even named Team Extreme, and like I said, they really fit the bill. They had a great interesting look to them. They weren't the biggest buffest tag team guys around, but they could definitely work in the ring. Them being brothers, they know each other, and they knew what each other can and cannot do. So they always compliment each other and fed off each other. You had Jeff, who was the strange enigma, the one who was doing all the crazy stunts and backflips and high flying and risk taking moves. And then you had Matt, who was more of the wrestler, I should say, of the 2. Although in my opinion, I think Jeff is way better than Matt. Based off the single careers, I think Jeff is way better than Matt in that terms. But I think but together as a tag team, Matt was more of the grounds type wrestler. So I think they were a great tag team. Number 3 on my list is favorite tag teams are the Outsiders, which consist of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Hall and Nash, great tag team. I think had it not been for Hall and Nash, for the whole Outsider Invasion storyline in WCW, I don't think there would have been an NWO, because before Hogan turned heel, before Hogan announced to the world that he's made the NWO, before all that even happened, you had the Invasion storyline, which was the Outsiders, which consisted of Kevin Nash and Hall. And these guys were just really entertaining. These guys were from WWE, and then you see Nash and Hall coming out through the crowd, and talking trash and stuff, and it's like, holy crap, like these guys are from WWE, but they're in WCW. It's like, what's going on? They really played the role off to the T. And not only that, these guys were a great tag team. They did a lot of cheating and underhanded stuff. A lot of their title runs have been crooked, but collectively, like the Harlem Heat that I mentioned in my first video, they've won. They're probably like the only tag team close to Harlem Heat who have won the most tag team championships in WCW history. I think Harlem Heat may have won it 9 times, but Nash and Hall have won it 7 times. So pretty close there. Like I said, these guys were a great tag team. I love the Outsiders. Number 2 on my list, and speaking about the Outsiders too, I have to mention too another thing I really liked about them too. Like I said, these guys were pretty charismatic. You had Nash. He had this great look to him, this charismatic look to him, and then you had Scott Hall, who would come in and know the crowd and always say, "Hey yo," the crowd. It was just so cool to see Scott Hall do that. Every time Nash came out, you always wait for Hall to do the Hey Yo and Nash to put up the Wolfpack type sign. Although the Wolfpack wasn't formed during that outsider storyline, but still. Okay, moving on. Number 2 on my list. You guys may not like them a lot. A lot of guys don't like them because they said they're overused too much. They get so much TV time, blah blah blah. But I enjoy them. I enjoy their work. These guys are the Dudleys. Those are number 2 on my list. Dudleys are, like I said, they're another tag team where if you were to make a list, you have to put them on there because the Dudleys are such a decorative tag team in the wrestling business. These guys have won countless tag team titles in every promotion, everywhere they've been. ECW, WWE, TNA, Japan. These guys have been everywhere and they won every tag team titles. And I think collectively, if you add all their titles together, they're like 22 or 23-time tag team champions. I don't know any tag team has won, that many tag titles. 22 to 23 times. That's a lot. For a tag team. And I just think it just really credits, the Dudleys and shows, how talented these guys really were. The Dudleys, along with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, they were one of the dominating tag teams, in the early 2000s in WWE. There's no argument about that whatsoever. And like the Hardys and Edge and Christian, they revolutionized, the TLC match. The TLC match is only popular because of the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, because of those tag teams. And like I said, and not only that, the Dudleys, they had a way where you could just absolutely just hate their guts. They knew how to push the envelope like really far. They knew how to take it home and to make you like hate their guts to the point you just want to get out and beat the living crap out of them. But then they also had a way too of where you love them, you'd be excited to see them when their music plays, you'd be up in the air jumping, wanting them to win the match or win the tag team titles. So when the Dudleys are in the ring, it's always going to be a good day. Number 1 on my list for my favorite tag team are the Road Warriors, who also went by the name in WWE as the Legion of Doom. These guys were great, and like the Dudleys, they're the only tag team I can think of besides the Dudleys who have won more tag team titles than any other team, and have also won so many tag team title belts in different organizations. I mean, these guys are like, go back old school. I mean, you're talking AWA, NWA, WCW, WWE, Japan. These guys have been everywhere as well, like the Dudleys, and they've had some fantastic matches throughout their careers, especially in their early years in the AWA. When their music would hit, oh, what a rush. I mean, hear that, as soon as you heard that music play, it just got you pumped, it got you excited. And then you look at these guys, you looked at the Road Warriors, and their look was like, you have these 2 big, buff guys, just these brawlers, with the shoulder pads with the spikes coming out. They could talk. They look like some guys that could just really rough you up. They look like they kick your butt in any bar fight. I mean, if they had a really good look, not only could they had an interesting look, but they could talk on the mic. Not only could they talk, but they also performed well in the ring. I mean, the Road Warriors, a.k.a. Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them, same team, they were just a really well-round, polished tag team. So these are my top 10 favorite tag teams on my list. There are 2 other tag teams that are my favorite, but did not make the list, but they are my favorite tag teams, were the Rockers, which consists of Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. This was a great young tag team. They won a lot of tag team titles back when wrestling was still kind of like on the independent circuit. Although they never won any tag team titles in WWE, they were still a hot young tag team, and they had fantastic matches as well. And the other tag team that did not make on my list, but I still enjoyed their work a lot, is the Hart Foundation, which consists of Bret Hart and Jamie Nightfield Hart. These guys have had great matches as well. They've only won the tag titles, I think, maybe 2 to 3 times. But, I mean, you had Bret Hart being the technical wrestler of the 2, and obviously smaller, so more quicker. And then you had Jamie Nightfield Hart, who's the big, huge, powerhouse guy. And I think they were a great tag team. They had a lot of great matches in their career. And, because of the Hart Foundation, tag team division, it launched Bret off into his singles career, where he's winning, Intercontinental and WWF World titles. So those are just the other two tag teams that I enjoy and that I like, but I didn't put on my list. But I just want to put that out there for anyone who wants to leave a comment and say, well, what about the Hart Foundation? What about the Rockers? I like them too. They just weren't on my list, but they are my favorite tag team wrestlers as well. So this was just my list. Give me a comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Later.